This morning on 12 News, we are tracking the tropics. Ida now a tropical storm heading through Mississippi towards the Jackson metro. We're live across the state with what you need to know.
Plus, we're seeing the damage left behind in Louisiana, where the city of New Orleans could be without power for weeks.
And with hospitals overflowing, hear from state leaders on how they plan to keep patients safe as the storm passes through. Welcome to 12 News at 5:30. I'm Chloe Ortega.
And I'm Storm Team 12 meteorologist Jacob Lanier.
And I'm Jade Balexa. Thank you for joining us. Our top story this morning, Ida, currently battering our coverage area.
And we are currently tracking the storm this morning. Jacob, where is it as we speak?
Yeah, right now it's moving into South Mississippi. It's been downgraded to a tropical storm. It's still one of the strongest storms, or the strongest storm we've seen in central Mississippi since Katrina.
And tell us, how does Ida compare to Katrina?
So Katrina, Jade and Chloe, tracked up Interstate 59, Biloxi to Hattiesburg to Meridian. So Jackson was on the west side. The wind field was much larger, which is why Jackson lost more power back then. This time it's tracking closer to the Mississippi River, but some spots could see more power outages than we did with Katrina. Every storm is different and the location varies.
I know a lot of people are thinking about Katrina with this storm coming through, and it's just amazing to me that it made landfall on the 16th anniversary of Katrina.
Yeah. Kind of eerie.
So we have team coverage from across the state this morning with Blake Levine and Macomb, Leah Williams in Brookhaven, and Anthony Howard at the Res. And we also have Scotland Williams with us too. But first, let's send it over to Jacob. Jacob, what's the latest with Ida?
Okay, so we're still awaiting a new update from the National Hurricane Center. As of their 4 a.m. update, it is a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. The center of the tropical storm is over Amite County, over Liberty, Mississippi this morning. The rain band's wrapping in. It's moving north at 8 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour right now in Tylertown, 45 mile per hour in McGee, Hazelhurst 48, 35 miles per hour here in Jackson. Tree limbs and power lines already downed, and that is one spot blocking Interstate 55 between Bogachita and Summit. You cannot drive northbound. That is shut down because of trees on the roadways there. This storm will continue to track north just to the west of Interstate 55. So tropical storm warnings continue for all of us. It will likely weaken to a depression by this afternoon as it passes over Hinds County. So the good news is it's weakening. We're still going to see tropical storm gusts though for the metro, and as far north as Highway 82 up near Starkville and Columbus, and that is where those tropical storm warnings extend to. The strongest winds right now are in Copiah, Lawrence, Lincoln, Pike counties. That's where we're seeing some of these tighter rain bands closer to the core of the storm. Also flash flooding along Highway 98 this morning. Amite, Pike, Walthall, Marion, Lamar, and Forest counties under a flash flood warning until 7:45 this morning. So heavy rain bands continue to drift northward. Look at that. Bright reds there moving to Hazelhurst. The gusty winds going to arrive in central Copiah County, and also here towards the metro. These heavier downpours moving through Brandon towards the Pearl area and downtown Jackson. And embedded in those heavy downpours come those pretty quick gusts of wind that could reach tropical storm strength. So our peak winds going to be this morning, this afternoon. Still rain and breezy though. Temperatures stay in the 70s as we remain weather alert, and the storm going to be tracking northward. We'll break it down for you and show you who could see the potential for spin up tornadoes and flash flooding. That's coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thanks, Jacob. Now here's the latest on Ida right now. At least one person has died near Baton Rouge when a tree fell in their home. Right now we're seeing tropical storm force winds across Mississippi, and schools across our viewing area are closed today. Head to our website to see a full list of closures. New this morning, all outbound United and American Airlines flights from Jackson have been canceled today. American Airlines says they expect to resume service from Jackson tomorrow.
And now let's take a look at power outages across the state right now. Let's see, according to poweroutage.us, we have 105,000 outages in our state, and this is the Entergy map. You can see most of the outages, according to Entergy, are in the south part of Mississippi here. And as far as the outages total across the southern part of Mississippi here, let's see, Entergy, you can go to our website, WJTV.com.
This morning on 12 News, we have team coverage from across Mississippi as we track Tropical Storm Ida.
And let's start in Pike County, where downed trees across I-55 are making highway travel difficult, but you really don't want to go out anyway. Let's turn it over to 12 News' Blake Levine, who is live from Macomb. And Blake, what's the conditions like now where you are?
The conditions are about the same from the last time we checked in. Again, it's the power. You guys just spoke about it. It's the power that's the issue right now. But let's recap what today, or last night into today, has been like. So about 9:30, 10 o'clock, that's when this storm really started hitting Macomb. We were driving in, I'd say 9:15, and we checked in with Mel and Byron, and you know, the weather, there was a little rain, there was a little wind, and then about 9:30, 15 minutes later, it was, whoa, okay, this is going. And it just progressively got worse, until it hit about, I'd say about 3 a.m., and since then, it's kind of slowly died down. Now, it's not dying down as fast as it sped up, but it's dying down ever so slightly, and I'll give you a look behind me real quick before we send it back, just to get an idea. Now that you can see the street signs, they are still moving, so the wind, although it's dying down, overall, it's still pretty heavy out here. The rain, little bit less, although, again, it's still raining heavy. So, still the conditions are bad, still need to stay indoors right now, and obviously there's curfews in most of the cities in the southwest part of Mississippi. So, reporting live in Macomb, we'll check back in with you at 6 o'clock. Blake Levine, WJTV.
We'll see you then, Blake. It's quite windy over there. And here in Jackson, the metro area, we're seeing the outer bands of Ida begin to hit the city, and we'll feel the brunt of the storm by sunrise. 12 News' Anthony Howard joins us live from the reservoir this morning. Anthony, how you doing out there?
Well, Jay, I can tell you one thing. I'm definitely starting to feel the wind increase since we've been out here since about 4 o'clock this morning, and they're gusts. I can feel it push me in the back, but I want to show you guys, look out there. The wind has been stronger. You can see the rain under the lights. You can see the waves of rain coming from the wind blowing it, and you see the sign even blown down over there, out there in the distance. And we're here at Shaggy at the Res, and we try to take cover, so we're under the pavilion over here, but I want you to take a look at this. Now, if you've been to the reservoir, you know the geese are always out here. Now, if you look in the distance, the geese, they're hunkering down. They're not even trying to fly in these winds. So it's been heavy rainfall. It's been consistent winds since we've been out here. But I don't know. I think, you know, we're under tropical storm warning out here now and flash flood warning in Brandon. So if you're out there, you know, tonight, right now is the time to stay off the roads and hunker down, just like these geese are doing here at the Res. I'm going to send it back to you all in the studio.
All right, Anthony, stay safe. While Ida made landfall in Louisiana, the Mississippi Gulf Coast was on the wet side of the hurricane and saw major winds and rain. Parts of the Mississippi coast saw a storm surge upwards of 7 feet. This is what it looked like in Gulfport, where winds may have been up to 150 miles an hour. This weekend, Governor Tate Reeves announced the state is opening storm shelters across the Gulf Coast.
We do have approximately 19 shelters that are open and are being staffed throughout the state of Mississippi.
Harrison County has a curfew until 8 a.m. this morning, and Hancock County has a curfew until 6 a.m. Here in the metro, the city of Jackson is opening 2 shelters, one at JPD's Training Academy and the other at the Champion Street Gym.
With the state's hospitals overflowing, Mississippi's medical system is being forced to juggle Ida with the coronavirus pandemic. Much of the state is without power this morning, but MEMA Executive Director Stephen McCraney says that's something they're ready for. He says MEMA made sure the state's hospital system is ready to deal with any outages.
We're going to have generators stationed within the state of Mississippi for all of our primary life safety hospitals, long-term care facilities, and other facilities that might need to have generation power back up. We know we're going to lose power.
Generators are also being used to keep the state's supply of COVID vaccines intact, since some of the vaccines require being stored in ultra-cold freezers.
Now that Ida has passed through Louisiana, we're seeing the damage that the storm left behind throughout Sunday. Take a look at this video from Houma, where the storm completely ripped off the roof of that building. Just take a look there. You can see it fly all the way down the street. The town's hospital is currently being evacuated due to the damage.
In Jefferson Parish, outside of New Orleans, doctors and nurses worked through the storm at the Oxnard Medical Center, even as debris fell off the building. Windows were blown out in 2 patient rooms. No one was hurt because the windows are double pane. Thank goodness for that. The hospital is running on a generator.
And here's an eerie look over the French Quarter last night. The usually vibrant city of New Orleans waking up in the dark this morning, completely without power. A main transmission tower has toppled into the Mississippi River. That includes all the power that Entergy supplies to the sewer and water board for the pumps and drainage systems in New Orleans. Entergy CEO says Ida brought catastrophic transmission damage to the city. And they say it's possible some customers will be without power for up to 3 weeks. And we're actually experiencing some power outages here in our state as we speak.
Yeah, a lot of power outages here, tens of thousands across the state of Mississippi.
And for the latest on those outages, you can head to our website, WJTV.com. Your time right now is 5:40.
Let's send it over to Scotland Williams for a check of the possible flash flooding we're going to experience here in our area, Scotland.
Yeah, Jade, that's exactly right. A flash flood watch is in effect for mostly all of central and south Mississippi. And really, if you're south of I-20, you're getting those heavy rain bands and the rain is piling up now. We actually have some flash flood warnings in effect. I'll let you know exactly where coming up right after this break.